have the cords for the projector, so when I work off paper.
You ready? Okay, we'll bring the planning commission meeting to order. I'm gonna ask Chris for the invocation.
Loving and gracious God, be with us in our deliberations and help us to be wise in the decisions we make for those present and not present. Amen.
Okay, we all stand and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, here, we're going to the roll call.
Linda Morrison,
Here.
Christopher Spivey,
Here.
Eric Mullin,
Here.
Chad Bennett.
Here.
Ruth Ann Jones, Joseph Flesh, John Atkins.
Here.
Okay. Did everyone have a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Maybe. Maybe.
I was not ready.
Okay.
Motion to approve the minutes.
May? Do I hear a second?
I'll approve.
Okay. Eric, good second. All in favor? Eric, good second. Yep. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And so moved, and you said the minutes for June will be moved to this. Okay, now we need to open the public hearing for 202406-001. A request to rezone 0.34 acres from a R2 residential medium to a C-2 commercial general located on the northern side of Walnut Street, State Road S-26-151.
We do have the applicant here. Give you a little bit of background with it first. If you look at your slides, you've got some of the pictures from the posting. Should start out slide 5 is gonna show you the location as far as with the zoning districts. And then you've got some of the actual pictures whenever the signs were put up on slide 6. So the property primarily is a residence there, but they have operated for many years a beauty shop, a standalone beauty shop that you can see it's actually on Market Street on slide 9. You can see it in 7 in relation to the house, and then slide 9 is just a direct in front of it. This is a similar situation to where we've had that lapse, where the R2 doesn't technically allow commercial unless it's a home occupation. And this had a lapse of over 180 days. Before that, they did maintain a business license, they did maintain operations. The last thing that we have on file was it would have expired June 30th, 2022. With that, so that's about whenever COVID came in, closed a lot of things down with it. It's been operational that way. When it comes to the future land use maps, which is why I've got those printouts there. City council's passed first reading of the updated comp plan. They've got second reading on August 5th. The updated future land use maps show this area as being commercially focused. So this rezoning request would fall in line with the future land use maps if we're going off of that. I don't see any reason to go back to the 2009 when council's about to have second reading for the updates. So it's the same thing that we had before in those areas where it's more, we're going back to everything based on scale versus that specific use. So we didn't see any reason to deny the request. We do have an applicant here to speak, just to give more background history and answer any questions with that.
Could we have the applicant come forward and explain to us a little bit more information?
Good evening. You hear me?
There's a microphone.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm Robin. My sister Clarence is here, my husband Eddie. My sister and 2 other siblings own the property at 3705 Maple Street. That property has been, I know that Meredith said it's primarily residential. My whole life it's been commercial and residential. I'll be 55 years old in a week. And it's always been used as a beauty shop. The shop was in existence for over 55 years. The owner of the shop is Claire Vereen. Y'all probably know her. Some of you probably do. Mama deceased in 2021, but from 1967 until 2021, when she became ill and passed away, this outbuilding that's on our lot was a beauty shop. Both our parents were cosmetologists and worked in that shop for my daddy probably 30-something odd years and my mom 55. What our plan is to continue to use the house, the residence, as our family home. And then we intend to rent the beauty shop out and continue the legacy that our parents left us. That's pretty much it. There are other businesses in the area. There's another beauty shop that's, I don't know, it's probably a quarter mile just on the other street on Watson Street. There's a beauty shop, Gerald's beauty shop. That's gonna probably fall under the same, but by the time the future land, that'll cover that. And then just down the street on Maple Street, a couple of years ago, I think, the Canal Street Apartments, there's a portion of that is considered a barbershop. That was always a barbershop from probably the 1960s as well. Same situation happened with Mr. Moody. And then around the corner, around the curve, there are other businesses. So years ago, there were 2 manufacturing, Marlene was one, not Marlene, what is now, I don't remember the names of the factories, but what used to be the old fairgrounds was always a manufacturing business. And then around the curve is some type of business. We can't tell what it is, but it looks like it may be used as some type of distribution business now. So we're not asking for anything different than what has always been, this place has always been used for. Y'all have any questions for us?
Thank you very much.
I have one question, everyone. With the parking, so the required parking for the keep on saying the barber shop, for the beauty shop. Where was the parking or where is it normally?
The parking has always been along Market Street. So there's sufficient space on our property for probably 4 vehicles. And then if we ever needed additional parking, it could be or would have been along Maple Street. And then we have a carport in the back of the house. So there's sufficient room for probably 8 cars. There's never, well, there was a need for more space than that back in the 80s, but now I don't think that there would be a need for any more space than that.
How many chairs?
How many chairs? So there's room for 4, but there are only 2.
Or I guess, chair or basin.
So there are 2 basins.
Okay.
There's sufficient square footage for 4, and but currently there are 2.
Good. Any other concerns?
I just, just be probably for you as well, just like something like that, for it to be a commercial, it would have to be upgraded to commercial standards, with like the ramp on the front or something like that.
There's already a ramp on the front.
I didn't know what it.
Yeah, there's been a ramp on the front for over 20 years.
On the existing building, the only way that you can. On an existing building, the only way that you can require upgrades like that is if the occupancy changes.
I got you.
It's not changing,
It's
it's still the same thing. So I went to a church this morning, it was built in 1980. You're going to remodel it, and they can't. There's a lot of rules that are exempt.
Just so I'm clear, because I think I was flipping pages, trying to find these slides.
Okay.
The business license expired and now reapplying is why they're having to do the rezoning? Is that-
So whenever it comes to documentation, what we're used to determine the justification, whether we can issue a business license for there or we can't, we'll go back to the systems that we have, and the last thing that we had on file to be able to justify a business being open there was in our business license system, and that license expired with the license year June of 22. So that from 22 to 24 is well over 180 days. It goes back into that situation where you can't re-occupy that with that use.
Okay.
So that's what it's triggered the rezoning.
Okay.
is.
Sorry about that, I just.
You were fine with that.
Now, this, go ahead, John.
I rode down there early this morning and just looked over, but I couldn't get a picture of it in my mind. And went past your house and turned in front of your house and then come back over, I think, Market Street and went down and turned to the right. And I was just gonna turn around and there, I saw there was like maybe a barber shop there on the right. And I thought, if this is R2, we've already got some businesses down here.
Right, yes,
So,
yes. And a lot of those they were in operation whenever the zoning went into effect. So that's that grandfather clause we'll refer to as that. As long as there's not a gap, the way that it is right now, the way it's zoned, as long as there's not a gap of over 180 days, you can continue that use. So if you had a 2-month break, you've not triggered it yet, then you could reopen if you hadn't closed down for a couple months, but if it's more than 6, you have to comply with the existing.
I sort of suspected that. I saw that, there wouldn't be anybody here to complain about you.
We appreciate that. We appreciate it. Yes, the businesses that you saw, there's a beauty shop, there's a building that's for a barber shop, but there's no one in the barber shop. So you're probably talking about Vanessa's beauty shop. There are also 2 funeral homes in the same area, United Funeral Home and then Leggett Troy Funeral Home. So from the 1960s, when the land was sold to, and the houses were put in, these residents bought this property with the intention of operating businesses. Now none of Mama's children went into cosmetology. So our intention is not to work in the beauty shop. We are the landlords of the beauty shop. And what Meredith has said is that anyone operating a business from in that building has to have a business license, and they will. So we were treating this as a landlord-tenant opportunity and ran into the issues with the business owners.
Thank you for your information. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other discussion or questions from the group? So, what they're requesting is to go from rezoning 0.34 acres from R2 to C2. Do I have a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, gotta close the
There's nobody else.
public hearing. Hey, did anybody else in the audience want to speak?
No.
Okay, so we can close now. Okay, now, with that being said, do I hear a motion to make it go from residential R2 to C2 commercial?
I'll make a motion. The zoning that she's requesting.
Okay, do I hear a second? Okay, Eric seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so moved. Moving on to the next step.
All good. And you don't get to, city council for first reading. Obviously.
Okay.
Thank y'all so much.
Well,
Okay, so the next item on the agenda will be this number 2 business item, right? Which is the review of the land subdivision.
Which, is officially been withdrawn. I got, email confirmation yesterday that he was withdrawing his application for the subdivision request.
Okay, this was the one at the end of the street.
The Dawes extension,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So moving on to number 3 item. PL 202-2407-02, review of minor subdivision, Marcia Coates, agent for William D. Bellamy.
Which I just realized too, if you, on those maps, if you have trouble seeing the illustration in that, because I don't have the projector tonight, let me know and I'll run some.
I'm not sure if this is, is this the end of it? I'm looking at the 40502 is the Johnson and Wellens. You're trying to 4702, that's not.
There's no 7.
It's that, it's that much.
It's the one that goes from skinny to long.
I see now, I didn't change that 527. But it's, what
It's
he's
this
talking
one.
about is slide, 11, 12, and 13.
Okay.
If you look on there, so if you have trouble seeing those,
Green series. Green series. Just explain this.
I think this one is a little bit bigger with it. And I have, let's see, I'll tell you what,
These are from the surveyor. Yeah, we'll do this. So there, I only have 2 of them though, but there's bigger versions of that.
I actually went down and looked at it.
And I think I have to explain this just here too.
So tell, is anybody here?
Yes, so, the agent for the owner is here. What this, I'll let Marcia come up and explain or answer any questions as well. So what this plat, this one's a little bit unique that there's 2 things that it's doing. One is a boundary survey for one parcel. That's the one on the far left, if you're looking at the big map. It is a boundary. That parcel is in Horry County's jurisdiction, so Horry County has to sign off approval for recording after the city of Loris has approved the other portion.
Okay.
So the only thing that you're actually looking at with this is gonna be the triangle piece.
Yeah.
And then the middle parcel, it says portion of lot D.
Okay.
That is within the city limits, so that is the only thing that we can actually approve anything on or make changes to is on that. What you see on there too is, let's see, I've actually took about the utilities off of it. So the only notes that I have from that is to have the surveyor go back and specify which parcel is in which jurisdiction, because we do have the 2 different jurisdictions that are signing off for it. So that way it's clear that the city is signing off for the minor split, and Horry County is gonna be signing off for the boundary. And then if you want the, certificate of water sewer, if you want Jordan to sign off that it's available with it, that's the only notes that I have. I don't see any other issues
So what is she specifically asking, or the owner's asking for?
for planning commission to, approve the subdivision.
Then to put a subdivision in?
No. Subdivision is not necessarily a housing development.
Okay.
Most people, whenever they talk about a housing development, they refer to it as a subdivision.
Okay.
Subdivision by definition is where you are dividing
Property.
one property into more than one property. That is, all it is you are subdividing one piece of land.
Okay.
And that's what this is.
Where's the new lines? I don't see anything marked up that says,
So,
that this was one track to begin with, is that right?
so current conditions, and you've got it there. So if you see the red, look, go down there.
Yeah.
Yep. So the red
I
outline,
see, okay, that was
that is
how it
one
was.
parcel.
Okay.
What I've got with the blue dashes is this one here,
Mhm.
which is Horry County's jurisdiction.
We're
Yep, so
basically just
forget that it's even on there.
creating one lot line.
Okay.
Yes, from what I've seen,
Yes.
was in this review is, and Marcia, you can correct me if I'm, and you can walk here and look at what we're talking about. At one time, this line, these two pieces were separate.
Right.
Some plat, I can't remember exactly when, it was maybe combined and then split into, no, it was this, and it was combined into one triangle. And now we're wanting to split it back up, basically where the line was before here.
No, the line, from this line, this was all house, back, I'd say, 45 years ago. Daddy bought like a 10-foot section here from Mr. Roy Hardy, who owned it, because he was building onto the house, which was his in the county part. And then, I'd say maybe 7, 8 years ago, Hardy LLC owned this section here. And they really had no use for it, and since my daddy had this part, they made an agreement with him and sold him that part. At that time, he didn't realize that that part was annexed in the city. Well, he just found this out later. So now, my daddy will be 91 in September. He's trying to get everything set up and divided among me and my brother. And that's what we're trying to do here, is this section here will be divided between my two brothers because the residential part to the county is going to me. And that's what it's about, is they want it divided for him to have the, right,
It's just,
yes.
I know of some of the property when they expanded the road, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Daddy's house is now 17 foot from driveway. The front porch is.
That's close to a busy road.
Yes, and because they approved that only because that house has been there so long.
Yeah.
It's got things on the mirror. No, it's out across the where Roscoe Gas moved, the yellow house across the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
Road that separates the triangle piece.
Yes.
I decided that's nice.
Oh, that's all right, so top, this and that in there is the same.
Yeah.
This section here, down there is the
So you're gonna keep the
requirements,
county
the requirements.
Yes, ma'am.
for
We would love that.
that district.
I wish the other part wasn't just
So
getting it.
here is,
I've done had that
Your
discussion
actual
with
lot
Stone, we're saying next 10 year and 16.
and what, the part that's in the city, so the part that would be for the city to approve is actually, other than a billboard, is vacant land.
Right, I seen it.
So it's, you're not, there's no, I think it was yours, there's no real concern with setbacks at this point, because there's nothing there except.
Yeah, the only thing we'll parse it actually is the highway and the railroad.
Yeah.
And we built with them on setbacks before anyway, so. Highway's easy. Anybody have any questions for her? No, okay, so we understand what the request is now.
Yeah.
So subdivided.
The only thing that I do ask, and I talked with Marcia before the beginning of the meeting, was that we do it as a conditional approval, that the surveyor goes back and does the changes to identify which parcel is what jurisdiction, and the water sewer with that. That we can do like we did before, is as long as those edits are done, it's signed off, then you can sign off, I can sign off, okay, for all of that.
It's a conditional approval based on the
Based on identifying each parcel's jurisdiction and to add the certificate of water sewer availability for the parcels in the city.
In the city. Not going to the left.
Nothing to the left. Forget that one's there, it's just on the same piece of paper.
Okay. Okay, so do I hear a motion?
motion for conditional approval based on the list we just discussed.
Okay, Chris makes a motion, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, so moved. Okay.
I'll send it to them to get it corrected. And then but I've got your contact, I'll copy you and email back to the survey.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Thank you. Okay, staff report.
So, if you look on there, I don't have a whole lot, other than, we're still looking at annual training. I did find a little bit more information, which might provide a little bit more flexibility. Municipal Association, I knew there was a way that you as, planning commission members would be able to sign in to do the annual training through the computer instead of finding the class, driving to it, that kind of stuff. So there's more options with that. So if you want to do the online access, it's self-paced, it's free. You can do it at 10 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, as long as I get the certificate, that'd be the only thing. You just need to email you the certificate that they can give for it.
So you can shoot us that information.
Other thing that I did have was, we've got, as far as the upcoming meetings, city council meeting is gonna be August 5th. That's also gonna be second reading for the comprehensive plan. And the rezoning request that we did tonight will go to them as well. We have our next regular planning commission meeting is scheduled for August 22nd. I have a special request for that. There is a training that Municipal Association is actually doing, in Columbia that I would like to go to. So can we reschedule that meeting if we don't have anything for it? Do you want to push those to the September meeting? You want to call a special meeting on the next Thursday would be the 29th. If we have something, if we do have something that needs to be done before the normal September meeting, do you want to tentatively schedule a special planning commission meeting for the 5th Thursday instead of the 4th Thursday, if we need it?
How does it look, Phil?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got five that says it's fine. Okay, so moved.
That is all that I have unless.
Have fun.
Okay. Anybody else have?
I do this.
You,
So you'll probably notice that Mr. Tom is not here tonight. And Mr. Tom will only attend meetings that we requested he attend. they are an advisory board. And some of the, and this is between all of us, some of the advice, some advice was not applicable to North, South Carolina. It's applicable to the county. And Georgia, these guys service a bunch of different people, and I can see how they can get part of their stuff mixed up. So the only time he will be attending is when
When you request them,
it's,
okay.
I just want to explain that. I know you're going to be one.
Well, I figured he was here mainly because we did that plan.
With the comp plan.
Yeah, because last time when we did a comp plan, that's when we had advisory.
So for the most part, it would kind of be a given that we would have somebody there helping us with the meetings whenever we're doing anything like a big plan update, a big, ordinance. You know, we're talking, about revamping the zoning ordinance. Doing text amendments, anything that's, I call them a big ticket item, something that involves, there's a lot of wheels behind it before it even gets here. That type of stuff, they would definitely be here for presentation and discussion, and feedback, input from the public. That way, but ultimately, city staff is responsible for this meeting, everything from planning it, posting, making sure that ads are ran, facilities are locked. City staff is where all that falls back to, and that's where, even by the bylaws and procedures, your recommendation comes from staff. So staff ultimately has to sign off on that, and we can't require anything that is beyond our ordinance.
Do you need for us to stay and sign anything? Okay. Okay. Do you have anything else?
I did not.
Do you have anything? Okay, does the press have any comments?
No, thank you.
Okay, we want to make sure we include you. Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, Eric made a motion, and John Atkins second. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, I think this is going record the shortest meeting we've had in 2 years.
And hopefully it will continue.
Yeah.
That sounds good.